What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode review for the Rising of the Shield Hero Season 3. This is episode 12, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
Mm. Yeah, not the way I really expected the season to end, the way that it did, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean they were hyping up this whole conflict with with this great spirit phoenix creature that's gonna awaken in 2 months' time, according to the
Well,
storyline. But
now
then
that has
they
to be put on hold.
and then of course they throw in like another major storyline involving one of our main characters, which is of course Raftalia, and which it's of course. Okay, so we go back to the village in which after Naofumi ended up bringing back all the four. I mean, well, actually, technically, there's only like Ren and Itsuki back in the village. Moriyasu, he's still roaming around somewhere. But apparently, after like Naofumi finished his mission, the blacksmith arrives and delivers some supplies and I guess he helped remake the Miko outfit that Raftalia wore back in season 2. So now Fumi has her wear it, but as soon as Sarina comes back to the village, she tells Raftalia to take off the outfit. Uh, but before Raftalia could do so, they're all attacked by these ninja assassins looking to kill Raftalia because it's soon revealed that because Raftalia wearing that outfit is like an indication of like of war or something against like a demi-human nation.
Apparently, if somebody wears that outfit, it's declaring that they're the rightful ruler or the emperor or whatever of the demi-human nation.
Yeah.
Um,
So eventually, like now for me, Raftalia, Ren, and Itsuki, eventually help take down these assassins. But of course, like the all the assassins end up committing suicide by bombing themselves. Uh, so soon after this, Sarina reveals that Raftalia is a descendant of a royal family. I think I think she calls it the Kutan Lo nation, and
yeah,
she reveals uh, that she was protecting her and her parents since they took refuge in the village that they're currently living in. But of course, as we know back in season 1 that Raftalia's parents were killed during the waves, and Sarina was away on a fishing trip since then, and then of course it gets of course we find out that that Sarina has been fighting in the Colosseum to free the demi-human slaves since then. So yeah, so now we're getting into this, like we're thrust into this whole new storyline in which now Fumi has to go to this human nation to I guess have Raftali become the new ruler of this new kingdom.
yeah. I can't say I expected any of this because they've been building up the Phoenix showing up, and that they need to prepare for it. But then, like all of a sudden, in the last episode, it's just like here's this new story arc that we're going to get into, I guess, for a potential for the next season. Um, it just I don't know. It was so weird to me, because yeah, we've seen her wear that outfit before, but granted, it was in the other world, so we really didn't think anything of it when she comes out wearing the Miko outfit. And then all of a sudden, we learn all this about how she's apparently descended from royalty, and that these assassins have been like, I guess they've been like watching her the whole time, or just like wait. I don't know. Like it's just so weird. Like okay, so I guess they knew about they've been potentially following her. They knew about her. They were just like I guess watching her and waiting until like what were they waiting for her to wear the outfit and then they were going to attack, or like because it seems like as soon as she put it
That
on,
that's
you know
apparently
they
so. That's apparently so. Yeah, like they've been keeping an eye on her her entire
yeah.
life.
What it just feels like this came out of nowhere. Like I don't know. It's just I, it was so like I said, it was just so weird. Um, and yeah, so we have that, and then we do have a scene with the two tiger siblings like interacting with the king, and it really like it was annoying to me because we still don't get any like straight answer as to what his relationship with them is like, but it kind of seems like they're trying to imply that he knows who they are, that he has some relation to them. We just don't know what it is,
I
because he was asking about like how they were doing.
I have to believe that that these two siblings are related to this guy because
Yeah,
as we know that this former king used to have a sister who was killed, uh, you know, in the demi-human nation or taken hostage in the demi-human nation, according to the queen, and the king recognizes Atla as looking similar to his sister, so I would have to believe that these two siblings are the children of of this guy's sister of sorts. So
mhm.
it's why, and of course, like he asked them like how they're being treated by Naofumi, and then they tell him that that they're being well taken care of, and then of course Atla would have died from from the disease that she was being afflicted with had it not been for Naofumi giving her the medicine. So
Yeah,
it's possible that that the former king will start like looking the other way, in terms of like like how he will view Naofumi as a person rather than like his viewing his past vendetta as being affiliated with the shield hero.
yeah, possibly, but yeah. So this season pretty much ends just like, yeah, with Naofumi going to the demi human nation. Uh, I, I guess he's planning, like, yeah, he said he's planning to negotiate with them. But he said that he is, like, I guess, fully prepared to go into war with them as well. Um, I don't know, like, it'll be interesting to see how he plans to do that.
Yeah.
But
I,
yeah, we kind of we get to see this one character who looks like really weirdly like she looks like a demi-human version of mine, of the other, it kind of looks like her.
yeah.
um but yeah, I guess she's probably going to be important. um but that's kind of it. Like it just ends on, yeah, with Naofumi going off to the demi-human kingdom, and that's where season 3 ends. It was just, yeah, I like I said, I can't say I expected it to go this direction. And I mean, it seems like they're probably going to eventually do a season 4, with Naofumi going off to the demi-human kingdom, uh, and then I guess they'll probably be like, it's, the whole season will most likely be about that, and then maybe they might go into the Phoenix. I don't know. I honestly, I can't really say I really care if they do go into the Phoenix plot, because it's just going to be a repeat pretty much of the. I mean, I just expect it to be a repeat of the Spirit Tortoise again, and I don't really care about that either. So I don't know. I mean, this plot, it is kind of interesting, but like I said, I feel like we should have known this way before now. Like that she's she's royalty or something. Like, cause it just feels like it just comes completely out of nowhere. Um, I don't know. I feel like the season overall, like, it's a little bit better than season 2, but I at the same time I would say that's not really saying much. I think season 1 was pretty good for what it was. It wasn't great or anything, but I thought it was pretty decent for what it was. For it kind of being Naofumi's personal journey to redeem himself. But the problem with season 1 is that it feels like Naofumi had already redeemed himself by the end of season 1. So it's like, where does the story go from there? And from there, the story goes into all these threats against the world itself, and Naofumi having to step in to help protect it. Um, but it's like there's not really any personal struggle for Naofumi anymore, because he's kind of already went through his whole character arc from season 1, and it just feels like there's not really anywhere else for him to go after that. So like the other seasons, it's just been, it just hasn't really felt the same. It feels like it's been like a step down in terms of the writing. Season 2 especially, just because of how rushed it was. The problem with season 3 is that it felt like the main focus was going to be, we're going to try to redeem the other heroes and give them, kind of redeem them and have them go through their own character arcs. Um, I feel like that should have been the main focus, but then they kind of, they kind of bring up the whole thing with with the spirits. What was it? The Spirit Phoenix. And it's partially about that, but I feel like I feel like honestly, um, it should have been a longer season if they really wanted to give the other three heroes the redemption that they needed or the time they needed to develop as characters, because it just doesn't feel like it's long enough to really flesh them out enough as characters. Um, and it just doesn't feel like it takes long for them to get on Naofumi's side, and it doesn't take too much convincing. I feel like it should have been more difficult, and they should have had a little bit more interesting character arcs that they were going through. And I don't know, because both of them really like they ended up sort of trusting mine, and I guess that was like their main like their main flaw is that they trusted her for some reason.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know why they ended up trusting Mine, even though they knew like what was up with her back in season one. So I don't know like what what convinced like all three of them to trust her in the first place, only for them
yeah,
to be thrown under the bus by her, like all three of them by Mine. So it's weird. It's a little bit weird, but I mean, personally, like I did enjoy it a little bit better than season two. But but yeah, like you said, it should have been maybe a little bit longer. I mean, it's one episode shorter than than season two, and then and
yeah,
it's the fact that they leave it off and in in such a weird spot, and not to mention revealing the whole the whole twist with Raftalia out of nowhere. It just seems like I really felt like they a lot more could have elaborated with their storyline.
yeah. It, it just felt like it was it just felt like it was kind of like, especially the end, like the writing is just like, I feel like for the whole series it honestly is just taking a huge nosedive after season one.
Mhm.
But yeah, and then it's like it's just very weird how all of a sudden now we're focusing on this other thing with Raftalia. I will say I find it a little bit more interesting than the whole thing with the Spirit Phoenix. I mean, I like where they were trying to go at the beginning of of season three with them trying to redeem the other heroes, but I just felt like they didn't do a really that great of a job of it. Um, I felt like so they fumbled that, so I was like, well, that I don't really care so much about that anymore, and it was just kind of setting up for the Spirit Phoenix to show up, and now it's going into this other thing. So
It
yeah, Shield Hero's just been really weird in my opinion since the first season, with like where the plot's been going.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it like I said, it was an improvement, but, for this to be a much for season 3 to me be a much better season, I really felt like they could have made this a little bit longer and then continued with the whole Raftalia, uh, storyline, moving from there,
mhm.
and then probably could have, you know, concluded and ended that season off from there, but they decided to just hold it off maybe until a season 4 comes out, whenever that's gonna be.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I guess overall, if I were to give this season a score, like maybe a six. I don't between debating between a five or a six. I gotta probably give it a six just because it seemed at least like they did step up with the animation got is definitely an improvement since season two. Granted, there's still some kind of rough spots, and especially with the CG with Galleon in certain scenes, it just really looks pretty bad. Um, Other than that, like yeah, it does. It definitely looks better than season two. Um, the soundtrack as well, like it just feels like a lot of reused tracks. Like I'm kind of, I would be honestly be surprised if Kevin Penn can like compose like that many new tracks for this season, just because it didn't really feel like it. Um, it just felt like they just reused a lot of the same stuff we've already heard.
Mhm.
So there's not really much to speak on there. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just okay at best, to be honest. I was hoping for a lot more at the beginning of the season because I mean it did show some promise with the animation quality taking a step up, but it feels like we're kind of back to where we were with how season two was to an extent, with at least with the writing aspect of it. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, it's not quite as rushed, but it still just doesn't feel like I don't know where we're going with this. Like I said, I don't know where we're going with the plot at this point. Uh, it just feels like it's just very all over the place with where it's going.
Yeah, and of course, there's the fact that Mine is still uh, out and about somewhere. I mean, I mean, she is looking. I guess they are aiming her to be the antagonist again, but she's
Hmm.
barely made any appearance in this season, um, at all, of course. And we
I
don't know
predict
like
what they'll
what.
probably do with her in the next season is that she'll try to somehow collude with the demi-human kingdom to try to go against Naofumi or something. Um, I feel like they'll probably have her do something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
that could be a possibility. So I mean, we'll have to see where they're going to take the storyline from there. But yeah,
yeah,
I do have to agree. It would, like, for me, I would also give it like a 6 out of 10. I mean, it's a slight improvement over season two, and I would say the fight scene of now Fumina's party going up against against the dragon was, I think, what was it was like the best of the season in my opinion. But in terms of like overall storytelling, like there could have been some improvement over the development with the other three heroes, and the whole Raftalia storyline just came out of left field, out just straight out of nowhere.
yeah. Yeah, but I guess until next time, guys, or until we hear about any information about it in another season, which I wouldn't be surprised if there is going to be one, but probably not anytime soon. Probably in the next year or two, I guess they might come out with another one. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
most
guess, yeah, so I guess until then, we will see you all next time.